I'm going to briefly demonstrate the Scheduled Copy API in Tinybird for a deduplication use case on flight reservations bookings. So in this Tinybird workspace, I have two data sources, flight transactions and flight snapshots. And you can see that some events are being sent to flight transactions as this count increases. Now, this might be events created from like a flight booking system or something that happens through a booking service, something like that. And when I take a look at this data source schema, you can see that there's some data in here, including a transaction ID, which should be unique. And so if I actually go back and query that data source and get a count grouped by transaction ID, I can see that I'm actually getting duplicate transactions. Now, I also have this data source called flight snapshots, and the schema is basically the same, except I've added this snapshot ID. But basically what I want to do is get records from that raw flight transaction data source and dedupe them into this one. So you can see right now that the flight snapshots data source is empty. And so in this workspace, I also have a pipe called Deduplicate. And that pipe has some logic in it to get all of the flight transactions and then deduplicate them. And in this final node here called altogether, it's actually combining the prior nodes of SQL and producing a final deduplicated set of transactions. What I want to do is, instead of publishing that node as an API endpoint, I want to copy the results to that flight snapshots data source on a schedule. For that, I'll use the Scheduled Copy API. So you can see that I'm calling this Scheduled Copy API on the US East host with the deduplicate pipe and basically telling it to copy the results of the altogether node into the flight snapshots data source on a 5-minute cron schedule. And when I call it, I get a good response. Now, I don't want to wait 5 minutes, so I'm going to call a simplified version of that API to go ahead and initiate a copy. So now let's see what's in that flight snapshots data source. And you can see that I've got some records in there. And then if I actually take a look at them, you can see that this is what a few of them look like. And most importantly, if I query that data source to check for duplicate rows, you'll see that I don't get any. And that is but one way to use the Scheduled Copy API. Note that this is just a beta release of the API. We'll be launching UI and CLI workflows soon. If you want to preview the API in your workspace, just let us know. Thanks.